This is New Day Northwest. Now, here's Margaret Larson.
Good morning, everybody. We begin with the 2016 Tony Award winner for Best Play and a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize that same year. The Humans is a beautifully told story about a middle-class family coming to terms with life, love, and consequences over the course of a family Thanksgiving dinner. The play kicked off its first national tour in Seattle last week. Please welcome two of the stars who we have loved for years on TV and film, Richard Thomas and Tacoma native Pamela Reed.
Yeah!
You two look like exactly the same as you've always looked. How is
We
that
do?
possible? Yeah.
We're the same person.
Here, you want to use my glasses?
So from T-Town, how cool is it to get to do this show here in Seattle then?
Oh, I love it. It's since we came back about 5 years ago, and it's wonderful to work up here. I love it. I
don't want to frighten you, but Susie Wiley, can you come out for a second? Are you back there? Susie is our audience coordinator, and she loves you so much.
Yes.
I just wanted you two to see each other.
Well, I did the takedown in Kindergarten Cop of the mother, the psycho mother, is still one of my favorite moments. So, I mean, that's what.
Okay, so we'll go to tea.
And you'll teach me that move.
Yeah. This fandom is so limitless. I just thought we should, plus this way you'll know who she is and be on the watch out. So that's good. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Richard, tell us about your character in this play.
Oh, Eric Blake. Well, he's a dad and a husband of 61. Is that how? 61 years old? I think that's what
I
it
thought
says.
you were going to say 61
No,
kids.
60.
There for
61
60.
kids. Oh, I have 61 kids. He only has 2. He's. I don't want to give too much away, but going through some stuff domestically and in terms of his work and all that. And he and his wife, Deirdre, are at their daughter's home in Chinatown to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving seems to bring up a lot. Tell us about your character and also what happens during the, just in a nutshell, during the course of this dinner.
Well, it's looks at a few demographics. I think basically it looks at a family, and anytime you look at a family, you're kind of looking at a microcosm of the macrocosm. We're looking at sort of a cross-section of America, the different age groups and how people are struggling in this country. Although the play doesn't hit it over the head. It doesn't talk about that in concrete terms. It tells a story about this family and all the different little mini stories that are underneath each character. But it's talking about something else. It's happening all across America.
Yeah,
now.
it's not an issue play. It's a wonderful. It's a family. It's a domestic comedy, really, but with a lot of emotional power to it. And it sort of talks about how families like communities. It's everyone together, and then each person alone dealing with what they have to deal with. So, but it's a family that sort of join hands and tries to get through everything as best they can as a group. It's an extraordinarily written play too. It's a very different kind of playwriting from what you're used to. It's naturalistic to the point of seeming perhaps like it's not even a play.
Like you're just looking
which
through
looks
a window.
very casual to the audience, but which is in fact diabolically precise and technical, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah,
based on the rehearsal
it's
process.
very precise in terms of the writing, but it's also like, all of us in families, we feel like we know how each other should live. And
we're experts on the
this
other person.
family
Exactly.
is, each member of the family is determined how the other person should live. And of course, that's why there's a lot of laughter in
the minute we said this happens over Thanksgiving dinner, there were people going, So it's like, I imagine that as you do
why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep doing it?
We need to hide. So I imagine there's some of that in the audience, right? Can you tell that they're resonating with what's going on as it's happening?
One of our biggest problems now is surfing the lines with the laughter of the audience, because when we were rehearsing it, and the director's not sitting there going, he's saying no this way.
Yeah,
this
it's a
way.
very, very funny play. So we just have to really keep you know, playing with from audience to audience. One of the things that's interesting about this play is that it seems to be equally appealing to young people and older people.
Yeah.
Because of how the generations are portrayed. So it has a kind of a wide demographic appeal, as you said earlier. It's,
And hopefully it'll maybe spin off some discussions among families if they. Well,
is that a
maybe
good
not.
idea?
Let's hope if they feel like it can be protected. Yeah, never
Maybe
mind
they'll all
that.
go
Just
home in the
forget
same
it.
car together.
Yeah. No, I think it probably does. I mean, I think everybody will bring their perspective to it after they see it. And it raises enough interesting sort of existential questions to leave the audience thinking about things as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you were on this other show about family that I recall. I know everybody asks you about John Boy, but,
Sure.
but honestly, that was such I don't even know how to describe it. I wanted to be the mom. I told everybody that earlier, except I swear too much, so I couldn't be her.
Right.
So,
right. Well, she did too. So.
did she?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes!
Oh, yeah.
I'm
No, we were-
winning,
we
and I
were-
didn't even
was-
know it.
It was really more like being with the Marines than it was.
Excellent.
Like,
Oh my
actually.
gosh, I love it even more now. I wish I'd known that sooner in life.
Yeah, we all did. There were no angels there.
But you told me that you were with that family so much that it was like your own family, and that
Oh,
there was
sure.
a lot of rearing that
Oh, it was wonderful. And we're still very close and stay in touch. And
Can it come back? Can
regularly
there be
on a
like next generations of the Waltons?
Well, it would probably have to be next generation pretty soon because we're not getting any younger in the retirement community.
Do you
We
get
could be
tired
all-
of
I don't know.
talking? Do you get tired of talking about it, or
No,
is it?
never. I loved it. It was 5 of the best years of my life, and I've forged lifelong relationships with all those people, and we are like a family.
Well, good.
It's a wonderful thing, and we had our sort of humans qualities in those shows too. There was a lot of wonderful conflict in the drama and all that. That was a magic time for me.
It was
I'm
for
always happy
everybody,
to
I
talk
think.
about it. Thank you.
Kindergarten Cop obviously is Susie's favorite, but I happen to like you in NCIS LA, and I think it's amazing that you get to do all that stuff with Chris and with LL and all the. It's an amazing cast. Have you had fun?
Yeah, it's been terrific. It's so I'm so fortunate, you know. I go down to LA and we have this little place in LA and get to work there and come up here and be in theater, and I'm really, really happy right now. You know,
Good.
the longevity of a career in this business, especially for females, has its challenges. So I feel very blessed. But
Is it getting better in any
Eric
way?
Christensen, who plays my son, is
Yeah.
a dreamboat of a kid, and he's wonderful. And do you know that his love interest Danielle, who plays his long, that he introduced her to his brother because he didn't think the guy she was going with was good enough for her. And he made a big megillah about that.
Yeah.
And finally, they met. He said he was a Marine, he was this, now he's a stuntman, he's a really great guy, fix things around the house, you want to meet my brother. Well, in fact, she did meet his brother, and they're married now. And
that's
they just
so
had
great.
their,
I
they had
love
their
that
second
story.
child. I thought the whole of America knew this except me. She told me
No.
this the first time I worked on the
Oh,
show.
that's
She said, I have to
wonderful.
tell you all about
Oh, that's
me.
wonderful.
She's so cute.
Wonderful.
And then so she goes to work and kisses Eric, pretend, and goes home and kisses
This is
his
his brother.
brother.
Yes, that could be strange, but I guess you get used to
No,
that.
it's just-
So,
yeah.
are things improving a bit for women in Hollywood? I mean, there's such this moment now where all of these things have come tumbling out of Hollywood, and it feels like I can't tell if we're going backwards and forwards at the same time. I can't tell what's going on at this point.
My father-in-law, God rest his soul, used to say the pendulum is an important mechanism and it swings to get it right.
And
so
some
that we
people
can
get hit
see our
right in the head
extremes.
with it.
It's not just in our business, it's all over the
course. Of
country.
course.
But of course, as we all know, the true emancipation of women is determined by the sensibilities and the diminishment of the ego of the male, and that we all walk. So
You
it's-
okay over there, Richard?
he gets it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how do we get here? It's not because women said, hit me, please, one
Exactly.
more time. I'll give you 20 minutes to cut that out.
Yeah.
That's not how it happened. No. So we do this hand in hand, men and women, and we hopefully it will take us to a place where it really is. When we say equal pay for equal work, we're not just talking about a salary,
Right.
It's about equality.
And about being a respected human being. Well, then I'll ask you this other question, because I was reading an article today about a guy who said, well, now I don't know if you should say hello to women or hug women. And I thought, oh, please, come on.
It's
I mean,
really
if you can't tell
condescending.
it is, and
Yeah.
it minimizes what's going on, and it also pretends a confusion about something that's not confusing.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak to this, Mr. Walton?
Not really. No. Of course. No, I mean, I heartily concur with both of you ladies. I mean, how could I not? And it's ironic in the case of film, because if you look back at the history of film, and if you were to do a montage of great moments, of great performances through film, you will see from the very beginning until the present just as many images of great female performances as male performances. Acting has, ever since they allowed women to be on the stage.
Yes, for a long time, guys were women in plays,
exactly.
Yes.
The theaters, particularly, but also film, has been a medium where the female performance has been just as esteemed. You know, now the amount of jobs available and all that
that's
stuff,
the
and as
question.
people get older, that's a whole other topic, which is, you know, not such good news. But if you look back at the great artistic contributions of women in our profession, they're countless. So how strange it is that there is at the same time this inequality and this sort of inappropriate balancing of the sexes in terms of power in the business. I mean, it is changing. It's evolution. It's just changing. I mean, if you have thousands of years of patriarchy, it's going to take a few. You're going to have to keep kicking at the window to get that turned around.
Well,
it just
believe
takes
me,
time.
we're going to kick at the window.
Well,
we need all
no
the
kidding.
help we can.
Kick away.
Yeah, thank
Kick
you.
away.
Thank you both. Truth, justice, and a new play at the Rep. Man, we've covered it all. You can see Richard Thomas and Pamela Reed in The Humans through December 17th at the Seattle Repertory Theater. We'll post an easy link to tickets on our homepage. Thank you both.
Thank
you
you.
for having me.
Wonderful.
Intelligent, talented,
Appreciate
thoughtful
it.
people. We
Thank you.
appreciate it so much. We're going to be back with Wellness Wednesday, teaching kids and their families to embrace a healthier lifestyle early on, from choosing foods to staying active. We'll be back in a moment.